your character in Quenziabe was quite complex. An unscrupulous agent who would stop at almost nothing to complete his mission. How much were you personally responsible for developing the character?
Well, that's 100%. No, I mean, ideologically 100%, because I was very anti-was. I mean, in a way, I still am not identifying capitalism with the states, but like a worldwide economy. So the ideological force, I put it into the character, playing it in this way. I mean, otherwise it would be kind of reductive, you know, like, how do you say that?
Cardboard figure.
Cardboard figure, yeah. So I had to put what I believed in, you know. As I said, I was playing the opposites. So it was a good method before '68 to play the opposites. It's a good method. And I like to play because beyond the ideological motivation, there's a kind of coherence, you know, in the rhythm of this character, which that also I like, you know. Damiani, he was very sure also to give certain indications of in the gestures, and of course, I mean, so
the acting.
yeah, and also the ambiguity of the character, this making believe and the making believe. I like that very much. Salinas, he wrote very intelligent script because it always was very simple. At the same time, it was very, how do you say, lucid, cleverly built up. In this, what you're saying, like the contrast, the point of view of the CIA agent and the revolution, all its difficulties, and that simple scene that he's waiting for standing in the row, and he just goes before everybody, is this arrogant and aggressive.
And was Damiani very hard as a director?
He was very friendly with me. He had a hard time with Volonté, but I guess it's normal. I mean, it happens. There was a scene that there is a scene in Quien Sabe where he becomes very neurotic, the Bill Tate, because he doesn't succeed in convincing the others to go his way, you know. And so I made a very neurotic gesture. I don't remember which one, and so when I saw he cut it out, I was mad at him. I was mad at Damiani, to the point that when he invited me to his house, I didn't go. No, I think he did that very well. I think with greater skill and very seriously. He was very serious about this film. Maybe it's the only Western that you can say you do this a lot in the States. Yeah. Is political.
Gian Maria Volonté was also very active politically. Did you get along very well with him on this shooting?
Yes, until the last scene. Until last scene, because I didn't learn the lines perfect, because in theater you have this habit, and I didn't do theater, so you learn your lines, and maybe also cinema, I don't know. So I learned them like half, and then it was all in the action, so I would know during the action or during the shooting. So he got mad at me and said, "Why don't you learn your lines?" And I got real mad too. So I was stepping on the benches, repeating, and well, okay, well, you know.
And how was Kinski to work with? Since the legends say he was...
I didn't work directly with him, and I didn't get to know him very well. But I guess he was a nice nice guy, and he was always dancing, I think, with the gypsies, and he had already his daughter that I saw, and I had a glimpse of her when she was in the caravan, already dressed transparent, not already, but very young and very beautiful. That's what I didn't get to know him too much. No.
Who came up with ideas for your wardrobe, like the white outfit, always dressed in white?
Yeah, it's a part of the acting to play the very elegant, the opposite of what I am, not very elegant. I've always been dressed like this, and just to play the opposite, and well, especially when he comes down the stairs with his chewing gum, you know, very sure himself that he will conquer the friendship of this other guy. He comes down, and then suddenly I take it and I throw it away. But still, I mean, you know, just that's the times, the 60s. I had the fastest horse. I remember we made a competition who was the fastest. There was a scene where we all had to gallop, and mine triggered off like a mad, like, you know. And there was also a problem with the horse's volonté. For instance, he thought his horse was persecuting him all the time. Kinski had a hell of a time trying to calm his horse down, be calm with his horse. And I thought I had the fastest. I just did like this with my, you know, I just touched him and he just went off like lightning. But one funny thing at the end is when he shoots me, I had an armor in my shirt, under my shirt. But that didn't work. That wasn't at all the problem. He was shot so near that I almost got, you know, it went in my ears. Yeah. It was too loud, you know. Another thing is that Sergio Leone was shooting at the same time, and I got to, and of course I met one of the those who were one of the assistants, and he asked me, Sergio Leone wants you for a part of a priest, very violent. And I said, no, I don't want to do it. So then I remember I was sitting on the beach, and he was on the balcony. I didn't even know, standing like that. I was looking at the sea. And then I met him later on, and of course we were very friendly and so on. Even if I spilled the spaghetti on his lap in Berlin, and then I didn't pay the hotel, so he was sitting in the sofa, and I said, "Are you watching so I can get out?"
For this other western you did called Requiem, there's a legend that it was not directed entirely by Lizzani, that Pasolini may have shot some sequences.
No, I don't think so. I was very serious about that film anyway, you know. Like if I was a gringo in one film, I was with the same coherence, you know, like no compromise and so on. I played Requiescant, and there's one scene that Lizzani went off with the producer talking, and he said, "Okay, you shoot the film. Okay, I'm going to talk with I'm having a chat with the producer. No, look here, you're going to stay behind the camera and watch the scene." You know, I was trying to be a little bit of a Chaplin or whatever, you know. There was one scene I was sitting on the horse, drunk. It was a shooting scene where he was completely drunk, and so afterwards he's sitting on the horse, and I got a clap on his head, but I was sitting upside. It was backwards. But that too, it wasn't there, so maybe it didn't work out. It wasn't funny or whatever. No, I mean, you know, it's things, you know, like that, trying to go against the boredom of the Western, because this is what I want to say too. It's very boring to make a Western. Really, very, very boring. You have wooden pistols, for instance. You have pistols that don't work, and you know, I was exercising before with wooden pistols, and okay, that was before. But during too, it's very, very heavy, very not at all exciting.
For Matalo, did the director Cesar Canevari seem to be conscientiously making an artisterial film rather than an ordinary Western? Was it his intention?
Well, I think I understood that years after seeing his film as a film cult movie in Paris. I said I got it all wrong. So I understood afterwards that he wasn't
Making a serious Western?
No.
So there was virtually no dialogue in the film. Was that clear in the script from the beginning, or you realize that on?
I think that was clear from the beginning. I accepted this third Western because there was the two opposite characters of the Westerns we talked about, and there's a third Western, and what fascinated me, as you say, fascinated me. No, what
Interested you?
what interested me was that he uses a boomerang instead of a gun, and said, "Wow, that's different. It's strange. That's anthropological. That's okay, another world. It's coming from another world, and so on."
So you spend most of your time being beaten in that movie. Was that?
Yeah, that's a good expression. I've spent most of my time being beaten, very maso. But I like this. I like this expression of being very free in my being maso, because when I re-saw the film in Paris, the scene where I don't know what he does to me when I'm forward like this with my body, and I just let I think it's slapping and I just let myself go with my whole body, and it's. The time is ages, you know, and all the time I'm swinging my body each time, you know. I think they're pushing. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're in the bar.
They're pushing me. Yeah,
yeah.
So when I saw it, I said, "Wow, it's like a dance," and I didn't know I was doing that, you know, with my body, you know. And I was pretty furious if it wasn't really make believe when they whipped me. Not that I wanted them to whip me to death or that I should have red scars on my back. Not just that I feel the string or that I can react if it comes on my back, so I can react. And I hated to pretend to react if I don't feel something on my back. And I was mad at the actor who was just laughing because he was from the theater and everything is really. Is really another make believe, another way of making belief, another kind of acting, which I understood later on doing theater. So. When I finally saw the film and the boomerang, even it was a great technical
stunt.
Technical. How do you say that? Exploit. No, exploit.
Deed. Yeah.
Deed of the movement of the boomerang. How he showed the movement in the air and so on, spinning, you know, with the camera spinning, and you know, and then when it comes and hits the the other guy, and I accepted the film on that basis that the boomerang turns around the corner. A bullet never turns around the corner. That was why I accepted the film. I forgot this detail. Because sometimes I accept the film, I'm not playing the big actor saying this, but sometimes I accept the accept the film just because of one scene, you know. And this, so finally when I see the film and I see the boomerang hitting him, it's a little small, it's a small boomerang like this. It's not the big one I threw, and it hits him like, and it falls down, you know, like this. I don't know, you know, like this. I mean, what force did it? I mean, it didn't kill him or anything, and he goes. So he was playing his. Now I understand better what he was doing. He was playing his irony, but he forgot the point of the. Well, he forgot. I mean, I put another idea in the boomerang, in the idea of the boomerang. In the idea of the boomerang in a Western. Shall we talk about what happened to the boomerang who went right into the tummy of the director? Because
we want to hear about all the gory details.
Yeah.
Get him. You need a boomerang. He can explain it to you very well.
No, it was very simple. It was always the last scene where I was supposed to kill him with the boomerang doing this movement, and so I had the big one, the real one, and I aimed, and I was supposed to aim towards the camera because that's normal, and I aimed, and with all my might, I threw it. And the director got it right into his stomach. And he looked at me. Said, "Son, you betrayed me. Me, director, your father." "Oh, Daddy, sorry. It wasn't my fault." But that's how it happened, you know. My unconscious did that, you know. Well, I didn't do it on purpose.
How do you when you said that the Western genre is boring for an actor?
For me.
For you, were you a big fan of Westerns as a public?
No. No, it was an exception to have left-wing directors doing Westerns and to give some contents like at the moment, the 60s and so on, being ideological about it. And but most of the Westerns had no ideology at all. It's just free, just completely gratuito.
Yeah, free entertainment.
Yeah, just because it's the new wasn't the new invention, and so it's again the ingredients that count, the form of the Western and violence and
did you refuse
sex and so
a lot of classical Western? I mean, classical. I mean, not ideological.
No, because it was
Westerns?
kind of exception that I made these Westerns. I wasn't in it at all, you know, like, so I didn't have any other offers. But there was, for instance, another action film on a gangster film, or how do you say, with Thomas Millian. Was a great project with Laurentiis. Well, that, for instance, I refused because I didn't see any. I didn't have any motivation, because the Italian Western gave this opposition, you know, could have this dialectical opposition that is not in the film, it's in you. So I use my opposition and put it into the character. Whether it's black or white, who cares? It's opposition. So it was a good moment too, you know, as an expression, I guess. Even if, as I was saying before, in an interview they made a long time ago, and I was sitting on the caravan, I said that the phenomenon of Italian Western is a hypostasi of a class struggle. No, I don't know what I know what hypostasi means, but maybe my audience doesn't know what it means. But now I add to it, it was a hypostasi of armed struggle. That is the acceleration of just doing armed struggle and cutting out the political action. It goes together. Like. But all that is in the past. Now we have to think it all over in many different ways. Now it's very much more complex. These themes.
Is the pleasure of the exercising the craft of acting enough for you in a project, or do you always have to feel also like you have a chance to express something important?
It's the last thing. It's the last thing you're saying, which is important. But I see more in maybe in what apparently is not so, as I was saying before, not so interesting. I see a way of doing what you're saying, what you said last. That is, that I will do something important.
You find a way to infuse meaning.
Yeah.
In something.
Yeah.
You use the craft of acting as a way to infuse meaning
Yeah.
in something that
Yeah.
may not have it otherwise unless you're there. That's
Yeah.
the thing you bring to
Yeah, you're going beyond my acting. Thank you.